Oh my god. Mike, here we are. It is Inside the PFL, Season 8, Week 4. I already gave it away, whom my co-host is at this juncture. I am your former champion, El Zubador, Joe, joined not as ever by Mike.
Oh yeah, that's me. We're here. We're live, I think. I'm live. You might not be.
I am alive, going through the main Facebook call here, so there might be some weird idiosyncrasies in the audio. Don't worry about it. Murphy's already here. That motherfucker, he's already in the chat.
Wow, Murphy is on fire. Hey, buddy. Can't wait to talk about your match.
So, it was week 4 here, Mike. Give me... What did you think about the battles, as we saw? Obviously, we'll go into more detail with them, but...
Oh, God, there was just roller coasters of emotions throughout most of them. Like, at least 3 or 4 of the games, it almost came down to the last, like, in my opinion, 5 or so turns, and maybe that's a little too low, but, like, pretty much it came down to the end game. A lot of these matches were, oh my God, one play can change the course of this match, and then the rest of them were, no, just you guys didn't plan right. And I mean, I fucked up. I'm not at fault. Yeah, we all fucked up here. What a week.
That's the thing. We'll get to yours. Obviously, you're one of the bigger fuck-ups that you somehow still managed to win somehow. God knows.
Oh, God.
But let's go into one of the ones where preparation may not have been as good, we'll say. First off, we've got Drac getting the +5 over Jack here. The people with 2 very similar names here. This was only not a +6 because of Destiny Bond.
Oh my God, that play. Oh, I was so happy. What a play.
Destiny Bond is the ultimate ruiner move. It's the ultimate, like, no, fuck you move, because...
He died as he lived. Working. Good comment. Loved it.
Because Drac was on a roll throughout the match, quite frankly, mostly thanks to, and Mario pointed this out during the broadcast here, Drac, in a weird move, something that I thought was odd during the draft, he chose to go double dragon with QREM and Zygarde, and I thought, you don't really need 2 dragons, but then you bring them in this battle, and oh no.
But QREM is still just meh. I mean, it did the work, don't get me wrong. Kiram just kind of went in and did what it's supposed to do, but, like, is this also a case of, I don't know how long it's been since Drak's played Pokemon, if he's kept current, but this is at least his first season in the league. So could we chalk it up to that, too? Like, Drak played well, Double Dragon's hilarious. But, like, does Jack just need the experience to get better?
You need a Steel type in there, you need a Fairy type in there, you need something that can stop the onslaught of these dragons.
Yeah, because you see Double Dragon, you prep 2 dragons, and you almost shut it down. And then they go, well, fuck, that bit me in the ass.
Now, it's a good Double Dragon, too, because, QREM is the special attack. Well, it can be the physical attacker, too, given its stats are the same. But
he does both, yep.
Traditionally, the physical attacker, traditionally the special attacker, Zygarde the physical attacker. It leads to things where, Zygarde doesn't want any of Cloyster, but QREM can be in there, and what's Cloyster really going to do?
And honestly, that Bandit E-Speed might do a good chunk of damage, especially on a Switch or something.
For certain, but, and especially, like we saw in that match, too, Cloyster came in on QREM probably as a mistake. I mean, like, it seemed...
it died to half power Z-Dragon, unless he ran the mixed build and that was the outrage, because that's a possibility.
That could have been, but I feel like it's... I don't know, I didn't ask Drac about that, but yeah, that's one of those things where even though, like, the special defense on Cloyster, though, is just, it's like 45. It's bad.
I don't know, though, you're still at half damage, but it's also a Z move at base 120 power. Kirum's a good wall breaker. He's not as good as KB, but Kirum's a great fucking wall breaker, man. You could run both dragon moves is another thing. So maybe he did run the outrage as the plan to, half his special attack, kind of trick somebody into thinking he's going to stay, and then bam, hit you with another Z move.
Yeah, because you also think that after Draco is used that basically, not that he's useless necessarily, but whatever's going to happen, Cloyster's going to be able to safely get off that shell smash.
Exactly. It puts your opponent in a certain state of mind, and then when you don't do what they expect, you get in the upper hand.
Yeah, they lose Cloyster.
They lose Cloyster.
But yeah, I think that it was mostly just, I think, Jack not really... Like, he had a weird HP on Tangrowth that, like, you know, Tangrowth is out against Zygarde, and it's tanking outrages. It's just easily just eating them.
Yes.
And then he uses an HP, and it's a resisted HP, and I don't know what exactly, why, or, like, what HP that even would be.
Also, if there is a rematch between these two, he should really, really try a different Tangrowth build. I love Tangrowth. Oh god, that thing's so large and just in the way of stuff. It wasn't keen. It took those outrages, but it could have taken the outrages and done stuff back, and it just didn't.
Yeah, I think maybe it's something where you're playing with a Regenerator Mon. You just got to kind of learn how to play with it, especially if that was an AV1, even though it went down to, I believe, an Ice Beam fairly easily.
Yeah, but if I recall, his special defense isn't too stellar.
No, even with the AV, it makes it better though. But I'm sorry, Murphy.
Yeah, it makes it movable.
Murphy has a question. Murphy, there is about a 10 or 15 second delay, so I'm just going to start.
Yeah, and I don't have the stream up. I don't want it to come up and then be sounding right now.
No, that's okay. And then I'm just going to kind of filibuster until Murphy's question comes up so we can answer it properly here. Drak also in the chat. Manny messaged me saying, what the hell? I don't know why, considering he told me he was busy this weekend, so...
You know what? Manny always is busy, and then whatever. He can come on. Bring this dude on live. We'll do a 3-way.
I don't know if we can... I don't know... Whoa, wait a minute. Manny doesn't have Facebook anymore, so I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
No, Murphy, you gotta do level 50, unfortunately. So you can't do super cool, like, Rattata strategies with...
Regular like, bombs. And like, Seismic Toss calcs, too, are different now. That's another thing.
Yeah, or like Sturdy Aeron with Berry Juice or something stupid. That weird thing that I know I've seen people do in, not Little Cup, but... You know, things that we've all seen GIFs of and things like that. So what
was the question? Could we do level 100 battles?
No, he said, could we bring anything lower than level 50?
Oh, yeah, no, we're very hard locked into 50. I'm pretty sure that's in our rules, actually. Pokemon must be set to 50.
Yeah, I believe that's right. It's just that most of the time people accidentally do it, level 100.
Yeah, but that's just because we're lazy or we oversight in the team building page. Cough, cough, me, cough.
Or you don't notice, which, we'll get there. We're one battle away. Next up, we've got Manny over James here, the storied battle, the historic battle where I think James has actually only beaten Manny like twice. I don't know, I didn't go back and check. I did a lot of stats this weekend, but Manny versus James is always a battle that you want to be around to watch.
It's always a good one.
Though during the live broadcast you were angry at this battle.
I was so mad. James just threw it away. I mean, Manny played well on his side of the game. But James threw it away. He could have just kept sending Scoliopeed in to just... Manny had no answer for it. Venusaur was putting work in, but there was Toxics that were going around that didn't need to happen. James just kind of let Zahora die. I fucking hate just playing against Ditto. Manny played really well, but James also played really bad in the middle. And he even types it in the chat. He goes, I fucked up. Because in the beginning, we were all just sitting there going, oh, look, this EQ is just at least over 50 to everything, and then speed boosting.
Yeah, so he couldn't, switch something into. Scolopede's decently bulky, too, so it's going to be tough to OHKO. Maybe Torkoal would have been able to do it, but then, James found a way around those things. It's just, after a certain point, Venusaur was locked into Sludge Bomb, because it was specs, I believe Manny said, for... the entirety of the time that it was out. And as soon as Sun was gone, James switched in Zygarde 10, decided not to kill it, just switched in Zero Aura, thinking that Manny was going to switch out. And, and it didn't happen.
And I also want to know, what are you afraid of him switching out? You have 1,000 arrows, something's getting hit. And it's not super effective, but it's at least neutral, and it's going to fucking hurt.
Yeah.
What are you afraid of?
I don't know what the thought process was in that one. They do have...
Thousand Arrows is literally the best. Please switch. I really want you to switch right now.
And yeah, so he lost 0 aura in the process because of that, and I think that I pretty much ended up losing him the game, because I feel like, at least if James still had 0 aura, it would have been closer. I don't know if he would have won, but...
he should have completely, as soon as Mega Adino came out, go right back into Scoliopeed. James let a lot of things get toxic, and Adino did a lot of very necessary chip damage.
Yeah. One thing I learned during this match, I should say, I was under the impression that when Imposter transforms Ditto, it doesn't also copy their ability, because I
think we all were.
Because earlier in the season, I forget who exactly it was. I think it might have been against Tristan with Conkeldurr. I thought that Ditto coming in and copying a burned Conkeldurr means you wouldn't get the... Actually, would you even get the burn?
That's what I think happened. I think he got the ability. I don't think he got the burn.
Okay. So
because that's probably exactly what happened. Maybe later we can go back and rewatch that, but that's probably what happened. I don't think he got the burn. I think he just got guts.
Okay. Because I thought it was that if he copied Conkeldurr there, he would have just been burned, which would have been a bad time because he wouldn't have gotten guts. But here we are learning that he did indeed get guts, which does mean that this can make Ditto even scarier, because it can switch in on something like a Moxie Gyarados or something, a Moxie...
Yes,
Moxie
and then steal your plus and run off with it.
Yes, because then you just keep getting the Moxie bonuses too. Murphy has confirmed that he doesn't get statuses, so he didn't get the guts bonus from the burn when he transformed into Conkeldurr.
Also, I will say, I kind of see why James was afraid to go into Scoliopeed, because he made the classic mistake of when you fight Ditto, any of your boosting mons, you don't put a move that you're weak to on. Like, a lot of Pokemon get EQ coverage. Don't put that on your Firemon against Ditto, because it's going to come in and Scarf EQ you and you're going to die.
Yes, exactly. But if you have a flying type, you could easily switch into that flying type and hopefully...
But still, like, Scoliopeed Banded versus Scoliopeed Scarfed, the band's eventually going to beat out the Scarf one, so you can just sit there and literally kill Ditto. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, either way, Manny got the +2 there. His 3 weeks of hell conclude this week with a match against Garrison, which I'm very excited for. We'll talk about in a little bit. Let's talk about your match now, though.
Okay, so we got to get this out there. It was due to tinkering. Again, of course, it always is with me. I tinker a lot.
You and I talked about your team, I think the day previous, or like the day of. I forget what exactly it was, but we pretty much went through what you wanted to bring against Dave.
And then I went to work, and I was really bored at work. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, I really don't like Gliscor on my team. I don't think it's going to do much for me. Kind of want to stall him out because he plays a stall team. So I put Sableye in there to completely shut Chansey down. And then I went, you know what? No. I'm going to trust my gut. I'm going to switch it back real fast. And guess what I never put back on him?
Which, again, I had said that's happened to me before. You put Poison Heal, you put Gliscor in there, you leave Hyper Cutter on instead of Poison Heal, and look what happens.
Some more insight to give you the scariness of Dave's core. You might think that Sableye is his really big defensive option. You'd be wrong. Fully invested attack from Kyrian Black, Z-Dragon. Sableye dies, no matter what. However, Chansey doesn't. Chansey fucking lives. That thing is base 5 defense.
That's why you need knockoff.
It is why you need knockoff, and I mean, it's still a 2-tap, but, like, that's base 170 attack with 252 attack EVs.
No, I know. That's why Chansey's scary, which is also why I know Manny's been like, maybe we should move Chansey up. Maybe, because
Stop it. Stop it. Y'all get so scared. Stop moving shit up when it does well, damn it.
That's just, no, it's a testament to Chansey's a Pokemon that, Chansey, like Ditto, is a Pokemon that you need to team build around, almost.
Yes, you need to go, oh shit, Chansey, especially when Dave's two biggest mons are Chansey and Sableye. To be fair, Dave's team also has a lot of other huge things going for it.
Wasn't really fun to try and get around. Entei was a huge problem. I was very afraid of Entei. That's actually why I texted Gliscor back in. I went, no. I don't have a real good answer for Entei. Gliscor will at least help me. Also, Dave woke up about 15 minutes before our match.
True, yes. I do
Knocked out cold from what James was telling me. He was just gone. See you, nerds. Sleeping. Just...
So,
God damn it.
So the last 2 weeks, you believe that they were both +1 victories for you, and you believe that you should have lost both of those games.
God, I can't understand. Like, does that just mean that my team's good and I'm just playing really bad? Is that what happened there?
I think it might be the other way around, where you're like toughing it out. That's the thing, is like it's the feeling that I had the season that I had, like the season that I was in the same spot, where you're 3-1 +4 right now, where just you need your team building in such a way that it's just like you're not just giving up either. There's always victory is always hopefully available.
Well, I built my team where KB is. I'm not going to give it away, but KB is a big part of my team. And whoever said I was going to bring a bunch of glass cannons, apparently I don't think has watched me team build, because I don't like to do that. I don't like to win faster than I lose, because I can't read my opponent that well early game. I take my matches into late games. I will drag you into the dirt. Joe did it to me before. It'll happen. I have no shame. I just get mad when it gets that far, when I know I could have won earlier. Those EQs were wrecking Dave. Ugh. Oh, Joe, I don't even want to think about it. Can we just move on?
To mention 2 other fun things that happened in the match, of course. Wish Vaporeon was very, very, very incredibly stupid helpful for you in that match.
Oh, yeah. And also, I tinkered another very interesting tech off Roserade that I should have left on. Would have helped out a lot.
Which was?
Remember I told you I was going to put a Scarf Rest Natural Cure?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That would have been amazing. And helped me. I wouldn't have needed to rest it up Roserade. We would have been good. We would have been... I wouldn't have needed to wish Roserade. I could have used those wishes on KB or something.
True, yeah. Weird the way things work sometimes.
Right? I was like, this is an interesting tech. This isn't going to work, though.
Oh, also, would you have lost that battle if Aquajet killed Aggron?
Oh, God. I think I screamed in my head because I didn't want the live stream to hear it, too. I was a couple rooms away. Also, I will note, I'm not going to restart a battle because I fucked up. I've watched other people fuck up and restart, and it makes me mad. I will give props to Kyle, who fucked up last season against me, I think. And he put Thick Fat on Hariyama with the Burn Orb, Guts, and he toughed it out. So, you can't... You're in the match, you fuck up something like that, you can't fix it. I mean, you do something illegal, that's fair. But that's just on you at that point, and you have to ride it out.
Yeah, fair enough. That was late into the battle. I'm saying, you found out 3 turns into the battle where nothing happened, so...
I know, but just... No, you gotta deal with it. Suck it up. Finish the match.
And also,
you lose by team building.
I was remembering that wrong. The battle against Dave that I had where that happened was I didn't put Drizzle on Politoed.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Yeah, you need that.
Politoed has another ability?
Water Absorb, I think, actually.
Okay, not mad. Still good ability. Alright.
Yeah, you're not stuck with Hypercutter.
Ugh.
Let's go ahead and move on here to best of the worst here. Thomas,
Jesus.
The +3 over Rob. This is one where I had the I did all my notes on Friday, I think, because normally we're supposed to be doing these on Friday. But then I rewatched most of the battles going into re-recording here, so I can kind of refresh it. I didn't rewatch this battle because it was a tough loss for Rob.
It was a really tough loss for Rob, and also a tougher win for Thomas. There was a point where Thomas was sitting behind a substitute, and if he had Dragon Dance, that whole game was over.
Is this the does Thomas just refuse to put Dragon Dance on Haxorus?
Oh, no, he had Dragon Dance. Do you not remember? We talked about this live. He said his 4th move was Dance. He just, I don't need to do that.
Well, you never know, I guess.
That was a great substitute, the first one. The second one, however, kind of don't understand.
Didn't have enough help for it, so...
What was your intent there? What did you think was going to happen? Just bad Thomas. Bad Thomas.
It
was a roller coaster, though. Watching that match, it was just like, who's going to misplay harder?
And unfortunately, it was Rob doing things like being locked into knockoff, out facing out P2, not using knockoff when you're locked into it, just deciding to switch out and letting P2 recover. And
yeah, that knockoff would have killed it. Rob wins the game. That mold breaker play, I have a feeling Thomas shit himself when he died to mold breaker, because he goes, you know what? That's mega pincer. Just like, you can probably hear me say it, does Rob have mega pincer, or does he have regular pincer?
Mike, there's a weird thing where you can look at a team card and you can.
But I was live, okay? I'm saying, for me, it's okay that I didn't know that. For Thomas, he should have known that.
That's what I'm saying. Is like you can look at a team card and know if someone has the mega version of this Pokemon or not.
Oh God, that was such a great mold breaker. I remember seeing it come in and just going, "Uh-oh, Thomas doesn't know that." He also, Rob, completely 180 his Arcanine plays, and I think that helped him win this game too.
Yeah, you gotta.
God damn it, Rob.
There was a lot of just like missed calls, because obviously like the first, he kept thinking that Thomas was going to switch into whatever ghost he had. I can't remember what ghost Thomas brought. To eat the close combats when he was trying to.
Oh, his ghost was the plate holder thing.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, it was Savali Ghost, yes. So
yes.
He kept, Rob kept thinking that Savali Ghost was going to come in, so he would do things that weren't close combat. Which is fair, but I mean, that's... It happened, I think, it was 3 turns or so before Thomas actually switched in and called the close combat correctly.
And then hit Parting Shot, and then Arcanine had so many status downs, there was 3 rows of them. It was just crippled. It was Little Brother at that point. I can make it on my own.
And let's not forget, Rob also messed up his sleep counter.
Can we also talk about how Milotic ate a Z move? Like it was nothing?
Pretty well, yeah. It was it took 46% from...
Z fighting from Torn?
Z fighting from Torn, which, I mean, I don't know what... I guess I'm assuming that'd be Focus Blast, I think. Probably.
I think the key play of that game is the Z move not killing Gengar. Was it a Z move? What happened? Or Gengar not killing with the Z move. He didn't kill Steelix with the Z move, and then Steelix just murdered it.
It wasn't a Z move, it was just Focus Blast, and then
it was just regular Focus Blast?
Yeah. And then it ate Earthquake.
It's not enough!
It's not enough. So, hats off to Rob. I hope he gets a win this season, but he does have another chance against Thomas later, so...
Also, Rob still owes us all pizza and beer.
Eventually, we'll get there. Next up, we got Garrison getting the +4 over Murphy. Murphy seems to have a weird habit of just leading Espeon into a knockoff.
Why would you do that?
It has happened twice so far. Now, to be fair, you look at Empoleon, you don't automatically assume it has knockoff. I do, because I had Empoleon, so you run things like Stealth Rock, Defog, Knockoff, Scald,
so
as your build or something.
Maybe he did it to try and magic bounce something back, like a Toxic.
Yes, that's the other thing. You look at Empoleon, you think rocks sometimes too, but you gotta remember, everybody knows that Espeon has magic bounce, and if your rock setter is their first turn, hitting knockoff's not the worst idea.
No, not at all.
Which is exactly what happened.
Also, what? Why? Whose idea was it to let Murphy draft Togekiss and Dragedian again?
We just let it happen, and Murphy is confirming that he assumed that it would be either Toxic or Rocks, which is why he switched into Espeon.
Okay, but and to that question, why wasn't Togekiss in this match? Because I looked at the Pokemon that were brought by Garrison, and I went, "Wow." Air Slasher would have done some work right now, or any of Togekiss's ridiculous, stupid, I hate Togekiss. Fuck you, Mario.
The reason that Murphy got Togekiss because he drafted it first. He knew that it would do work, but you gotta. Oh, apparently it was Tom. Oh yeah, that's right. Thomas helped team build with Murphy after our broadcast on Monday, and I'm assuming. So there you go. That's why you lost.
Well, why would you take advice from the dude who has 1 win this whole season and about 4 wins in the past 3 seasons? Excuse me.
It was the whole. He's going to over prep for it, so don't bring it. According to the comments that I'm seeing here.
Yeah, but when it works, make them over prep for it.
Yes.
Oh,
No, I agree, and I was the person helping. Spoiler: I don't know if Garrison said I helped him team build, so.
The Tailwind Nidoking monster.
That was all him. He was just like, I'm bringing a Mulligan. I'm like, what? Like, oh, so I could use Tailwind and bring in Nidoking. Like, oh.
My asshole would have tightened if I was up against that. I would have just been, a lot of Pokemon are about to die right now.
The only thing that stopped it was Nidoking getting frozen.
Which is luck. At that point, Nidoking... Oh god, that was terrifying. Garrison, what a play. What a play.
And Garrison wanted to try and preserve the +6. He didn't want to just use Flamethrower against Suicune so he could thaw himself out. So...
Oh, that would have been cool.
It would have been, but yeah, it ended up being a +4 anyway, just because of... He wasn't sure if Scizor... Because I think it started with Scizor against Empoleon, and he wasn't certain if Scizor had superpower, which obviously would have been a problem. And we found out later in the match, yes, it does have superpower, actually.
I feel like the Scizor users are not Scissoring hard enough.
Well, they're both 1 and 3, both Gage and Murphy, I believe. So they gotta step it up.
I mean, I believe I should be 1 and 3, so I guess I have no room to talk, but I'm not. I'm 3 and 1.
Other than that, like, I mean, like, Tailwind Emolga, just, like, thinking about it for a second, like, you look at Emolga and it's, like, why bring it? Why? I feel like there are probably better mons that can use Tailwind, too, that can take advantage of it, but, hey, more power to Garrison for currently being +17, by the way, with...
Jesus. Okay, so Garrison's in playoffs, everyone. Prep for him.
He's 2 up on everybody, at least 2 up on everyone in his division, and he's +17, which is more than... we'll talk about the stats later with the stat sheet, but, +17 is almost better than my best season.
I like your note here. Garrison is 4 for 4 on sleep powder.
Oh, yes.
Fuck you.
That's true, he is. And who else got a sleep... Thomas got a sleep powder off in his match against Rob, too. Or no, I'm sorry, Jack got it off against... he had sleep powder on Tangrowth, which Mega Gallade went to sleep.
Yes, he put Mega Gallade to sleep. Hilarious play. Which means it also wasn't assault vested, like we assumed there with the Ice Beam.
Yeah, so who knows what exactly Tangrowth had, because it wasn't a rocket helmet.
Which is what I was hinting at. Anyways.
Let's go ahead and move to change the icons here. Kyle getting the +4 over Dan. You and I were watching this battle live. It was 44 turns, I want to say, and
44 turns total. And 31 of them, all 6 Pokemon were alive.
Didn't really start until about turn 31. Yes, so it was basically the worst kind of battle.
But that's kind of also what battling Kyle is. If I have learned anything trying to prep for Kyle, it's learn what his end game is and prep for that, because Kyle's taking you there. One way or another, he's going to get to his position where he can win, especially if you mess up.
I think that now, and it works very well, because in this battle we saw here that basically all he needed to do was just, do a little bit of damage here, a little bit there, resisted hits, whatever, doesn't really matter.
Just some chip damage. He didn't care. He was waiting for his opportunity. He was keeping all his mons alive and healthy while getting a little bit of damage out there.
And I don't know how it ended up happening, but, it was basically Umbreon versus Amoonguss was out for like 3 or 4 turns of Dark Pulse, Sludge Bomb, Dark Pulse, Sludge Bomb, or like Dark Pulse, Giga Drain, like nothing happening.
They were just feeling each other out at that point.
Pretty much, but they decided on the same turn to go into Torn and Coco. Which that's bad luck on Dan's part, I guess. But like that could have been like Torn coming in there and like taking a Giga Drain would have done barely anything to it. And now suddenly Kyle has to be on the back foot. But here we are where it blew up in Dan's face pretty much.
It really did. Also, I was really surprised there was no Thunder Tech. I expected that. You're going up against a water setter. You tech Thunder for the lulz.
I always feel weird about that because in these types of matches, it depends on, because I know that in my matches where I had Rain with Politoed and things, you will switch Politoed in to eat hits every so often, but you don't really want him to die, so the Rain being there, you can't guarantee it's there, which is why, like, I can understand if it's a Mon where you have, like, a fourth move slot that you're not doing anything with. You could put Thunder in there, but choosing it over Thunderbolt automatically, I don't know.
I guess.
That's risky business.
It is. I also think what happened was Kyle put Dan in kind of like a loop, and then he changed his loop. For 30 turns, he played very stall. And then he just suddenly went, okay, it's time now. And the electrics, and it wasn't even a secret. We've been talking about it all season. Electric Train went up. He just let Coco die. Hawlucha comes on, hits Swords Dance with the Unburden, and you lose.
And you lose. That's basically how it goes. And I think this also plays into... Now, I think we've had this conversation before. Is Unburden 1.5 or is it double speed?
Oh, God, I want to say it's double.
Because I feel like... Because I wrote in my notes here, this is why you got to bring Kingdra. This is why you got to bring your Swift Swimmer. Because, let's see if... Oh, speed is doubled. So, alright, so never mind. Hawlucha still would have been faster than Kingdra.
Oh, God. You need to prep for that, though. Like, so you bring Swift Swim and D-Dance, and now you're faster.
Yeah. Man, Swift Swim and D-Dance, that's really... And yeah,
I've seen it. I've gotten that build a lot in random battles.
Yeah, it's true. I feel like it wasn't taken advantage of. I feel like we haven't seen a big outing from Kingdra yet with Dan. And
do you also think it's when you're going to expect it coming, so he's not bringing it?
Possibly. I don't know. That's the weird thing is that's the reason that when I, again, going back to because I have experience in, running both Politoed and Kingdra, more often than not, I would just not bring it because people are so scared of it.
Yeah, or like when Mario had a lone Ninetales and a lone Sandslash and brought neither of them until he dropped them.
He traded them to Manny, who then Manny was like, oh no, I don't really like this either.
Yeah, like, sometimes not bringing them on that you expect is worth it, but like in a situation like that, Kyle's brought fucking the same play every week. Every week.
There hasn't been much differentiation between Slowbro, Amoonguss, Coco, Hawlucha, and his last two Mons are usually pretty variable, I think, but those four are basically guaranteed. Much like with Dave, where Entei, Azumarill, Chansey, and Mega Sableye have come every time.
Yes.
And Rotom,
The benefit we all have with Kyle this season is it's not hard to find his endgame. Before it was, he had options. Now, he kind of pigeonholed himself into one amazing endgame. So instead of us playing Find It, and now we have to play Solve It, he's pretty much just flipping us all off at this point.
Right. Now, this was the problem as well the season with Garrison, where he had Pelipper... No, not Garrison, excuse me, Carmine. Pelipper, Mega Swampert, like Ferrothorn in there, Lando, like it was an...
Do you mean the time that he didn't switch his team at all the whole season?
Pretty much, and the only thing that allowed you to get a victory over him was tracing Swift Swim.
How fast is this boy?
The origin of how fast is this boy?
That's one of my favorite plays. I told everyone, except for him, of course. I was like, I'm just gonna trace Energy Ball and end this real fast.
Alright, let's move on here. We've got Tristan over Gage, the rematch. The rematch where... Boy, I talked to Manny after this match, and boy is he angry that Gage gave up +10 to Tristan over 2 weeks.
Gage has a very good Trick Room Pokemon that I love, that he didn't use until the very last mon of this game that could have swung the tides real hard. Mega Scizor is not fucking fast.
Does Mega Scizor get something like Curse? That would be stupid.
I don't know, but when you were...
No, what? I lost you there, Mike. Hmm? Okay, well, we just lost Mike. He should be back in a minute here. Let me just go ahead and give him another call real quick. Are you ready for the Facebook? Wait, no, let me mute it real quick so we don't hear that. Shh, everybody shut up really quick. Here we go. Hello, Mike. Oh no, I can't hear Mike anymore. Oh no. What happened? Mike's calling me now. It's loud. Hello, Mike.
Yeah. I think I'm back.
Okay, I don't know what happened there.
Neither do I.
Anyway, you were making a point about Scizor.
My favorite thing to do with any large, slow fucking Pokemon like that is to set up in someone's face. You know Tristan's going to hit Trick Room, so instead of having to bring Protect on Mega Scizor, you bring Roost and Swords Dance. You bring Bullet Punch, and I think Superpower helped you against him, and then you laugh. Or you bring Bug Bite for the stab, because his base speed is not high. He's a slow boy, and you just teched into only Bullet Punching. I mean, you had to. He was your last mon alive, but like, oh god. I would have hard switched into Scizor a lot. A lot.
The weird thing is, I feel like in this battle there was a lot of... Like, Trick Room didn't do the brunt of the work, I think.
I agree. Also, this match made me realize Tristan drafted a really large team.
I mean, you almost have to with Trick Room. Cofagrigus, like, the amount of damage, the amount of, like, that Stakataka was taking in that battle... Even Drampa was eating hits pretty well.
Like, I think what he did was he was like, okay, so I'm doubling down on Trick Room. I'm just going to draft 10 Pokemon that have huge defenses and a very nice attacking stat to go with it. And then I'm going to draft Lando to help me clean up.
Yeah, because Lando, with the moves that it had there, it had Grass Knot for Swampert. It had Stone Edge to take care of, I forget whom exactly, but it had Stone Edge to take care of them. I think it was Haunch Crow. And it used a Z move to get rid of Primarina, so it was pretty much the MVP in that match.
Yeah, it was pretty much, it was almost like a hide the Lando situation where he just kind of just kept bringing Lando out when it needed to happen. Got everything low enough for Lando to finish it.
And boy, oh boy, now that 230 defense on Stack Attacker or thereabouts, I forget how, or like 180 or whatever it is, you combine that, I know that a 4x EQ weakness is scary, but then you have Shuka Berry, and oh, look what happened. He took 20% damage from a 4 times EQ.
I lived, bitch.
Basically, like, Tristan made some, I don't even know how much he changed up from the previous week, but he made appropriate changes, and... +4 is still a very good win.
Oh, it's a great win. Especially getting 2 huge wins like that in a row, that helps you later on. I'm always an advocate of wins matter, but nobody in this league is good enough, I'm sorry, to consistently win every match, so it comes down to your pluses matter too.
No, and we can look at the stats for that too, where most people are sitting around the 50% win percentage column.
Yes. Yes, they are.
Oh, so... too bad for Gage. He'll bounce back. I know he will. Even though that division of already 2 losses to Tristan and he's got Manny and James to contend with, it could be rough for him moving forward. I wish him luck.
I mean, Tristan beat me 3 times in one season and I still made playoffs.
True. That is true. Just got to get those Conference Cup matches are really going to matter.
Oh, yeah. They've taken me to playoffs every season that I've been in playoffs. It's almost been because of Conference Cup. I can't battle in my division, but I can battle outside of it.
And finally here, the final match of the week, we've got Mitch, a.k.a. Mario, getting the win. Getting the win +3 over M1, because hopefully Mitch is done with his class now, right? Can you confirm that? What?
Hold on. I'm pretty sure that this week is auditions. Pretty sure. So he's like almost done. I think they extended it a week because they added more games to it. We work in a casino. He's learning new table games.
This motherfucker told me it'd be done early in the season, and here we are halfway through. I think he's got the bye week this week, so I'm not worried about it this week. But still,
he has the bye week.
It is this week because you have the bye
this
week.
This week. Yes. And then I battle him. I mean Mario next week. I battle Mario next week. Everyone, Mario.
Now, before we started, I forget if this was on here, but you had said that M1 team built well, but looking at it, he didn't really have anything great for Volcanion, I think.
Except for, the Brave Bird doing a shit ton of damage.
So he was just trying to outpower Volcanion, which he's a big boy that's kind of tough, or that can be tough, but yeah, when it came down to it, there were some weird plays by M1, I'll say, in this match.
Who brings fake out on Salazzle?
That was a big thing. So
what?
I understand you see fake out, you think like, oh cool, Salazzle's attack isn't really great. Like, I understand if you want to wait out turns of something, but all that accomplished was taking Rocky Helmet damage, which made me mad.
Yeah, what did you... Salazzle's attack is huge. Fake out's more for like... either the chip or the stall. Fake out helps when your Mon has some weird Oko calc, so you get that nice chip damage in, not when you can slam Nasty Plot and then Sludge Wave everywhere.
Yeah, so that was weird. I think there was him choosing to go for Play Rough against Zapdos with Mega Mawile instead of hitting Sucker Punch. Because yeah, right, because Heat Wave plus Rocky Helmet damage killed him. So classic Rocky Helmet Zapdos coming through in a big way in this match.
Well, it didn't kill him, but it put him to like 15%.
No. After the Heat Wave, it took him to like 12%, but then using the Play Rough, it just died because of Rocky Helmet damage.
Yeah, they both died there. Yeah.
When Mega Mile, like we said, thrives at like 10% because all it does is just keep hitting Sucker Punch.
Yeah. You didn't even need to be at 10%. You hit Sucker Punch there.
No,
you didn't take that Heat Wave.
No, I know. That's the other, but these are things that it's like we said in the thing last week, where it's basically it was a battle of people who have a lot to learn. I think still. Well, technically it wasn't because Mitch didn't battle, but still.
I also think that Mario got in M1's head, which he shouldn't have, because if he reads the chat at all, I've blatantly told everyone that Mario is doing most, if not all, of Mitch's work, and this week he didn't even hide it. So, I mean, you should have prepped for at least Mario's thought processes. I think M1 went in going, oh, look, it's Mitch. This shouldn't be too bad. And then Mario messaged him and went, sorry, bro, it's me.
Yeah.
And then M1 kind of went, fuck.
I think it was doubly so, because I know that talking to M1 and Drac a lot, Drac was like, oh, Mitch, yeah, he's the guy that I got the +4 on the first week of the season. So automatically everyone's like, oh, I don't have to fucking care, whatever.
Yeah. Mario's a very good coach. I get help, but not as much as Mario does with Mitch. He's there. You're facing almost two people. Mitch might be pressing some buttons on his own, but
we've always had people like that, though.
Oh yeah, you need it for a couple seasons. Yeah, you need it.
You need the guidance. Mitch has been around enough that he should probably know at this point, though. Maybe, I don't know. It's like 3 seasons. I don't know. Either way.
Yes.
As well, we talked about before, one of the big things in the match that I found weird. Well, I mean, at the time it probably sounds good because, I mean, all that was left was Volcanion, Superior, and Sock. And you know that Sock has Sturdy, so maybe the rocks are just like, okay, here's something so where Sock will at least not survive a hit when it comes in, but as a result, you're not hitting Giga Drain or something on... You're not given that extra chance, first of all, because the first Fire Blast misses from Volcanion.
First of all, that was huge. That was a huge miss.
Right. So you could have done a little more damage, and instead of rocks, Celebi dies, in comes Staraptor, you hit the Brave Bird, Volcanion's dead, makes it a bit easier for Ferrothorn, because Staraptor and Ferrothorn, now... Superior's faster than Staraptor, and Sock was Scarfed, so both of them were going to be faster. I think at that point, Mario probably would have sent in Sock to hit T-Punch, and then when Ferrothorn came in, he either switched into Superior because it's not like Ferrothorn was going to do much to Superior with Gyro Ball, probably.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it probably would have ended the same way, but it could have, might have ended up as a +2.
Yeah, you got to get that damage out. Maybe he just thought Celebi was going to die, and he just hit Stealth Rock.
It's possible.
That could be it, too.
Yeah, who knows?
Oh, man. Some weird things happened.
Either way, Mitch is now still ahead of you in the rankings thanks to Mario at 3-1.
But yeah, I'm getting blown out of the water in pluses. We all have a lot of wins, but I think this season it's going to come down to pluses. Lucky for me, the other side of my playoff picture is Thomas and Rob.
Murphy can bounce back. We've seen that Murphy, especially over the last 2 seasons, can do a lot with plus, so I'd be wary of him. But yeah, let's actually go... First, let's talk about trades and pickups before we go to the standings, actually, because it's very simple, the trades and pickups this week. The Zero Aura experiment is over, Mike. James dropped Zero Aura for Hippowdon, so as a result, he's got Z-Captain Hippowdon, which I don't know if he's going to use. James isn't really a Z-move kind of person anyway, so I wouldn't be surprised if he just doesn't use a Z-move for the rest of the season.
Or he uses his other move user.
Or Scolipede, that's true. We could certainly see Z Earthquake, Z, Savage Spin Out, I guess. that Z move that everybody's using all the time, of course. And with those extra points that he gets, he upgrades Serena to Chestnut, which I feel like James hasn't used Lucario yet. Which I don't know if he's getting Chestnut here. I'm wondering if James just doesn't like Lucario and doesn't want to use him.
I would, as somebody who had to change up his strategy a little bit during the draft, it'd be kind of okay if James didn't use Lucario and got rid of it. Cough.
Because I mean, his team so far, it's been Zero Aura, it's been Scolipede, it's been we've seen Starmie and Incineroar, we've seen Zygarde. Again, it's because of how linear Mega Guard is.
Oh my god,
we haven't really seen it.
Joe.
Yes.
James drafted a dual core again, but it's not the one you'd expect.
Is it Psychic Dark Fighting?
Yes, but with Fire, Water, Grass.
Oh, that's true, yeah. How about that?
Dude. You knew the Psychic Dark Fighting, you didn't know where. It's on his Fire, Water, Grass core.
We undervalue Psychic Dark Fighting as a core, I think. It's often just Fairy, Dragon, Steel, or Fire, Water, Grass, but...
I think I had it a season or two ago and enjoyed it, actually.
No, it's a core that can work, so... we'll see what happens there, because Chestnut, obviously, big physical defender. Also, he's now... taking what Manny had last season with Chestnut and Incineroar.
Oh Jesus!
So the dynamic duo is back. We can commission Rob to do that picture again.
Poor Rob. He's better at team naming than he is at team playing. He can't play for shit.
Yeah. Again, we'll get there. We've got the stats to back it up now. But so let's take a look. Go back to the start screen really quick here. Let's take a look at the standings. For week 4 here, so not much change in terms of everybody else. Garrison is still leading Troze at +17, where, man, it would have, as much as I didn't like Rob losing, it would have been nice if Thomas's win put him ahead of Murphy. That would have been fun. Snap is looking scary, because Drac at 3-1 +11, he's not safe there, I'll definitely say that. Mitch at 3-1 +8, I'm just going to say isn't going to last. He'll probably end up at the bottom of the division, no offense to him.
I don't know. With Mario behind him, that's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, Mario's been behind Mitch before, though, and we haven't seen...
But now Mario isn't battling himself.
True.
You have to realize that. Mario's only... it's a whole different standpoint now. Mario can give Mitch stupid trick plays because he doesn't give a fuck if Mitch wins or loses, which is almost better for him.
Very true. And Jack at 1-3, I think he'll come back because his team is much too good to end the season with like a 2-7. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree.
Manny's still top of his division at +6. If he loses to Garrison this week, it's going to be a nightmare for him, because if Tristan wins his battle, which I think it's Tristan versus James, Manny's going to drop immediately. So
All the divisions are close still. A lot of things can change.
they are and that's none more exemplary. Like even like I said, same thing with Jack. Even James at 1-3, that's not going to last.
We've been saying that for a while, and I get it, he's busy, but James has definitely put a lot less work into Pokemon as of late.
Yeah. Who knows?
We haven't seen James blow people out of the water in a couple seasons.
No, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And the closest division right now is Stadium, where Kyle takes the front spot of the division over M1 because M1 lost to Kyle earlier in the season. Both of them at +6 at 2-2. Dan's at +3, and Dave is at +2. But again, Dave, I don't know what's going on. Again, you look at Dave's team, and that's not going to, and that's going to be like at worst 4-5 kind of team, I think.
I don't know. Dave's team relies heavily on stalling the way he's playing it. Maybe if he plays a little bit more aggressively, like instead of just always relying on Chansey and Sableye, maybe more rely on them to keep your dudes alive.
He's kind of. It's almost like he's playing kind of what Kyle is doing, but not as well. Where he's trying to just do as much as he can with Sableye and Chansey until Azumarill can come in, pretty much.
I guess, but Azumarill is a little bit easier to stop, I think. Yeah, it's terrifying, but at the same time, enough prep for it and you can put it away.
And it doesn't work as well in a division where he's got to deal with bulky water types. Well, not even bulky water types, where he's got to deal with a rain team. Mantine as a bulky water type with water absorb and Slowbro. So
yeah, that's not a good position for him to be in.
Yeah, so it might just be the other people in his division are making it tougher for him.
And he lost at least one of his out-of-conference games, too, so he either needs to change his team or change his strat on his team.
Yeah, to pick it up here. Let's go ahead and talk about some stats, Mike. I have been hard at work over the weekend.
Oh my god,
here.
Joe, I can't believe it. You've sent me this stuff over the course of days, and, it's a lot of time, Joe.
I was bored. That's what it boils down to.
That's fair.
So I did just basically simple things that were just, how many wins everybody has. Because it started with, I believe it was you asking on the broadcast on Monday who has won more, Rob or Thomas. And and I compiled the data. I looked into it. And over the course, since Season 2, because Season 1 we don't have any data for because Manny liked deleting everything from the previous season when we were on Facebook. And I wasn't part of Season 1, so I didn't, compile the data. So basically, from Season 2 onward, both of them have played 60 games.
Yes.
Thomas is flat 30-30. He is even Steven 50% win, 50% loss ratio.
Yes.
Rob, of everybody who's still around from Season 2, does have the worst record. It is 23-37, so not as good.
Not as good.
Not as good. Unfortunately, Rob is the person who... Well, the person who...
He teetered off.
He did. His best season was 7 wins. That was Season 2. I don't know what he did Season 1 again.
Season 1 was around there. It might not have been that exact number, but he did well.
He did well enough to get to playoffs. I know you told me that. So
that was a beta season, though. We can't count Season 1 at all. It was really the beta of the league. We didn't have. It was so bad, people. There was no broadcast. There was no animation. There was no talking. There was no trading. There was nothing. We drafted in Mario's basement in 20 minutes.
But we've come a long way. Manny was like, when I was asking Manny for the data on Season 1, he's like, I didn't keep it. I didn't know we'd be this far. I didn't even think there'd be a second season.
We talked about this as okay, let's get some people that we know around here to do it. And then Thomas started watching, and we were like, well, we'll let Thomas in. And then Thomas started showing his friends, and we're like, why don't we expand? And now we, as you pointed out, cross the country. There are people in almost every time zone in our league.
Yeah, just about. And some other stats that are just, interesting to go across here. Of course, Manny is the person who has the most wins. He is 44-16 as his record across 60 games. James is 34-26. He's second here. Mike, you're third. You're 31-29, so you're just slightly better than Thomas.
Yeah, I'm about it.
And we've got, I did the link there. I'm not going to go over every stat here, but, we've got everybody going back to people who have been in the league for one season, like Sneaky and Carmine, people who have been long gone, like Krista. And
I forgot about Sneaky. What happened to him?
he just didn't want to do it again.
Really? It wasn't his thing, eh?
Nah, he just wasn't into it.
Even after 8 wins, wow.
Yeah, even after having statistically, I believe, one of the better... No, not really, never mind. 8-1 plus 20 is how he ended up. But yeah, you're just like, no, I'm good. But
That's pretty fucking good. That's surprising.
yeah, but I do things like I looked into who has the most plus and, average plus you get per win, which unfortunately again shows that, Manny wins nearly all of his... Actually, no, I should say James is the one who is, of the highest amount of stats that we have. He wins most of his games at least plus 3. And Rob wins barely plus 2 most of the time. These stats might not... there's not a lot of variance between them. And then for people like... Here's a weird stat for you. So, Derek, you remember Derek?
Last place, yeah. How could I forget?
He had 3 wins total across 2 seasons. And he was plus 12. Which means... He had plus 12 wins off of 3
He
wins.
won plus 4 every time.
Yes, he won by an average of plus 4 every time.
That's crazy.
So technically he has the highest average, I think.
That's fucked up, man. That's fucked up.
So, and just like how Sneaky lost once and he lost plus 5, so therefore his average plus per loss was 5 because he lost once.
What a time. I can't, I'm looking over this right now. Damn, Joe, it's color-coded. Shit, you went hard.
I did what I could. I wanted to make it informative. Also, as well, please note that Manny has never missed the playoffs.
Also note that Joe's only bored because he no longer plays.
That's true. So I have more time to do shit like this.
Gotta get Joe back.
Alright, so that's some stat stuff. Let's go get this out of here. Let's talk about the Conference Cup really quick, because your boys, the Snap Boys, pulled ahead this week. Your +1 and Drac's +3 put you at +11 for the season here. You are ahead of Coliseum. Of course, you are off this week, so that can very easily change. But...
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm a good Conference Cup contender.
No, you are.
I fuck up a lot, but I'm definitely a good Conference Cup contender.
I think we've had it down that last season you won all of your Conference Cup matches, which
was
again,
awful.
While you're
That was awful.
Playing in division is bad for you, but your Conference Cup matches are usually at least pretty good.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, not much change there, so let's just go straight to week 5. It is the first bye week here. We'll talk about the commish picks as well. Mike, you can make picks if you want. I'm not going to write them down or anything, but...
That's fine.
First off, we've got Tristan versus James. Now, I may have said before, but James asked specifically. Normally, the divisions are, random, or, whoever's top 4s are all in an independent division. Whoever is the other half of the people in the playoffs are in an independent division. Manny asked for James in his division, so I was able to do that because James was top 4, Manny was top 8, and James asked for Tristan in the division for some reason. So
Interesting.
So because of that, I've got Tristan winning this one. Manny's got Tristan winning this one. Mario's got James. Mario's got faith in James. I think that it's like you said, where James isn't really putting as much effort in, but I think that the full-on Trick Room team that Tristan has, James ran a Trick Room team. He probably has answers for it, but I think that Tristan's going to...
James doesn't need answers when his team is slow, specifically citing Vikavolt and Hippo Pound Town, and taking James. Not that it matters.
Very true. We've got Murphy taking on Rob here. It's unfortunate, but I got to take Murphy on this one, and so does everyone else.
I'm agreeing with that 100%. Sorry, Rob.
This is Rob doesn't listen to these anyway, if we're to believe him, so...
That's very true. Rob never listens to these.
So, Murphy is the only sweep that we have as well this week here.
We've got... four-way sweep.
Yeah, it's the rare four-way sweep. We've got Manny taking on Garrison here, the last of Manny's Hell Week before he can finally take a day off, for fuck's sake. And I took Garrison +1. I think it's going to be a tough battle. I think it was you that said Garrison has, like, looking at Garrison's team, he's got, even Garrison himself, he's like, his team is fucking ridiculous. So
yeah, you just got to do stuff with it. It's like that meme where you poke it with the dead stick. Do something.
Manny's really got Manny doesn't have any faith in himself. He's going +4. I believe he told me. Well, no, I'm not going to tell me say what his strategy was before the battle takes place.
Come on.
But Manny's taken Garrison +4, so he does not have too much faith in his victory here. And Mario's sticking with the favorites. He's got Manny +2.
Oh God, you know what? I might actually have to take Manus on this. I might actually have to do it. I'll give him a nice clean +1.
Okay.
By the skin of his teeth.
And finally, we've got Gage taking on Thomas here. I lied when I said that Murphy was the only sweep before.
Oh, yeah, this is the second four-way, by the way. Spoilers.
All of us chose Gage on this one. I got Gage +3. Manny's got Gage +1. Mario's got Gage +2. And
I'm taking Gage with a cool +4.
Damn. Thomas is just, he got his win. He's not going to bounce back. That's just as far as it goes.
Oh, yeah, because Thomas, come on, buddy. He'll be here, though. He will be in that week, so maybe with me and Mario helping him out, it might help a little better.
Well, maybe. Maybe we can have it for the broadcast. Who knows? We got a broadcast tomorrow, hopefully. I will have to ask. I'm assuming Manny and Garrison will be
here next week. I'm sorry, I lied to y'all.
Oh, that's okay.
We're doing this recording so late, I have everything all backward.
Well, either way, hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to do Manny versus Garrison. I'll have to ask other people. So, shorter week. Don't expect as many battles, but hey, that's perfectly fine. Is there anything before we go sailing into week 5, Mike, that you want to mention?
Yeah, except for the division with Rob and Thomas. Everybody's still close. Keep your shit going, man. I like the closeness. I don't like when somebody just runs away with the division. I like that every match comes down to it being interesting. Otherwise, it's like watching the Patriots win every year. It's just boring. Nobody enjoys it anymore. It's not fun. So the fact that we're all close, we're all duking it out. The bye weeks are here. This is when you need to start shifting into late game now.
Could it be, Mike, that this is possibly the most important week of the season?
It's easily the most important week of the season. How could it not be? It's the bye week, guys. This is the first bye week, so some team changes could happen. Some people can take some interesting leads this week, too, because half of them people aren't playing. This is the most important week of the season.
I agree. I could not have said it better. So I think then with that here, we're going to close the book on this one here for Inside the PFL. I am Joe.
And I'm Mike.
Everybody out there in TV land, enjoy your battles, enjoy your bye week. Have fun.